Finally, we are going to look at divisibility by 4 and 8. To determine if a number is divisible by either 4 or 8, we have a few options. First, let's look at our options for 4. The first thing we can do is look at the number formed by the digits in the ones place and the tens place. If that number is divisible by 4, the whole number is divisible by 4. Our second option is to divide the number by 2 at least twice. To check for divisibility by 8, again we have a few options. We can divide by 4 and look for an even quotient. Remember that quotient is the word we use for the answer in division. Next, we can divide by 2 at least 3 times. And finally, we can divide the number formed by the last 2 digits by 4. Then we have to look at the quotient. If the quotient and the digit in the hundreds place are both odd or both even, that number will be divisible by 8. Let's try a few examples. First, let's check for divisibility by 4. Our first strategy is to use the number formed by the digits in the ones place and the tens place. Here we see the number 16. 16 is divisible by 4, so this means that 2016 is divisible by 4. Our next example is 35,141. The number formed by the digits in the ones and the tens place is 41. 41 is not divisible by 4, so 35,141 is not divisible by 4. Our other option to check for divisibility by 4 is to divide the number by 2 at least twice. First, let's try this with 48. 48 divided by 2 is 24, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. Because I could divide by 2 at least 2 times, 48 is divisible by 4. Let's try this strategy with the number 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25. I cannot divide 25 by 2 without having a remainder, so that means that 50 is not divisible by 4. Next, let's try some examples for divisibility by 8. Our first strategy is to divide by 4 and see if our quotient is even. Let's try this strategy with the number 92. When we divide 92 by 4, our quotient is 23. 23 is odd. This lets me know that 92 is not divisible by 8. Let's try this strategy with the number 496. In this example, I have a quotient of 124. 124 is even, so this lets me know that 496 is divisible by 8. The next strategy I can use is to divide by 2 at least 3 times. Let's try this strategy with the number 48. 48 divided by 2 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Because I can divide by 2 3 times, this lets me know that 48 is divisible by 8. Let's try the same strategy with the number 28. 28 divided by 2 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. But I cannot divide 7 by 2. Because I can't divide by 2 at least 3 times, 28 is not divisible by 8. The last strategy we can use for division by 8 is to divide the number formed by the last two digits by 4. Then we need to look at the quotient and the digit in the hundreds place to see if they are both even or both odd. Let's try this with the number 292. The number formed by the digits in the ones and the tens place is 92. So let's divide 92 by 4. My quotient is 23, which is odd. However, the number in the hundreds place is even. So since one of these numbers is even and the other is odd, 292 is not divisible by 8. Let's try the same strategy with the number 392. Since I just found that 92 divided by 4 is 23, and 23 is odd, and the number in my hundreds place is also odd, this lets me know that the number 392 is divisible by 8.